Guys, I know it's been a while since I put out a video, but that's because I've been working extremely hard on this game right here, Rygar, or my sequel to it, Rygar Vengeance, which is basically a remake of the classic NES cart that I have right here. And this is my original cart, and you know, some people even ask me that sometimes. They go, Ed, do you really even own any of these games? And the answer is yes, but you know, a lot of them are in boxes and stuff like that. They're all over, lots of them are in closets and stuff because I feel really old even when I look at it. Like this cartridge here is my original. It's got to be banging on almost 30 years now. And a little story ahead of time of how I got this cartridge was it was a Christmas present, and that we didn't have a traditional tree Christmas that year because my parents said to us that I think it was Christmas Eve, if I can remember, that our main present for me and my sister was that they were taking us to Disneyland. And, you know, we were just freaking out at the time. That was so huge as a kid to go to Disneyland. And then on the way back, because we didn't fly, we actually drove there all the way from Canada, British Columbia. I know it's a long way, but I remember that the journey itself was also pretty cool and memorable. So on the way back, because we were allowed to buy a few gifts in America because it was cheaper than in Canada, and I chose one cartridge. Normally that's what kids got on Christmas. You got to choose like one Nintendo game because they were expensive. And I had the choice between Zelda or this game Rygar, and I chose Rygar. I did get Zelda later on, but some people may say, oh, you made a bad decision on that one. But what I want to say is that this game and the remake of it has a really, really strong cult following, a really strong fan base for it, which I love, because I'm not on social. I've been kicked off of social media because of my political views. People know that, but people have been emailing me. Tons of fans have been emailing me. I don't want to use any of their real names because I don't want to get into trouble or anything like that. So we'll just say fans of them. And this may be one of the most fan-inspired remake games, even more so than Castlevania, because people, and this is what I love about email over social media, because they're sending me music samples that they made for the game. They would think that they'd be like, hey Ed, listen to some of this music I made for the game, and maybe you might be able to use it or implement it in some way. And I was like, fantastic, I will try to fit in everything that everybody makes. People have been giving me graphic samples. They've been drawing up artwork for the game. They're getting graphical designers to actually pixelate the art for specific enemies and bosses. They're sending me fantastic stuff. I love it all. And one idea, and I love it because they think the same way I do as well. There was this one person who liked the way that the hermit stages or the god stages I've been making in the game, I expanded them and said, wouldn't it be cool if you made one of those into a total stage, like a whole full-blown level? And I was like, yeah, I already thought of that ahead of time and I was gonna do it, so we're thinking alike. And so I did. And at the end, you're going to fight a boss, and I thought to myself, well, it'd be cool if you fought like one of the bosses at the end would be one of those hermits or gods, but it would be like an evil version. So I just called him a Djinn, which is just like an evil genie. They kind of look like genies in a way anyway. I guess that's why I thought of it. And he floats around and he fires, god bolts at you. And when you defeat his body, his head pops off and flies around the screen. Then you got to defeat his head. And when you defeat all of the pieces of his body, then he will drop a special item for you. Now, I haven't gotten to the point where I know where I want to put this stage yet, and I don't know which item is going to drop out of him or which item you're going to get when you defeat him. It could be the armor, could be the health vial that allows you to heal your health whenever you want, or maybe even a disc upgrade. I don't know yet. But I do know it's a cool idea. And that's why I don't really like to show a lot of updates for games that I'm working on at the time, because a lot of it's uncompleted, so it just seems kind of, I don't want to say boring, but it's not done, and I just don't like showing things. Like, I'm still working on the overhead map. It's taking forever. It's so tedious, but it's not done. I can show you clips of it, but it's always just going to be snippets. I can't show you full-blown me playing the game. I will when it's more completed, but just not yet. Another little problem I've been having, if people can call it a problem, is sometimes I get really burnt out from working on the same game every single day. It's just like Rygar, Rygar, Rygar. You get a little sick of it after a while. And the same thing happened to me when I was working on Ninja Gaiden. I needed a distraction project, take a break from it, work on something else. And that's when I started working on Castlevania, Simon's Quest Rebitten, and we all know the history of that one now. So I did the same thing, and one thing I noticed on YouTube is there was a specific NES game, a very notorious one, maybe one of the most popular notorious ones of all time even, that people kept talking about. They kept doing, they look like professional documentaries solely on this game. And even in 2020 and 2021, they're still talking about it. And I was like, man, people just won't shut up about this NES cart. And it's a matter of opinion whether or not it's a good game, it's a bad game, it's a hard game, it's whatever. It's all a matter of opinion. It's always up in the air with this one. So I was like, okay, what I saw out of this game, because I don't want to spoil the game for you, but you might be able to guess it, but I saw mad potential. I was like, I saw what they were trying to do with the game, and I see the problems with the game, and I think that I could fix them. So what I do is I take that game and I throw it into my engine. I start messing around with it. I start getting my creative little juices flowing and get my fingers on it, and I try to see if I can run into a brick wall. I'm adding new things to it, changing things, trying to make things better. And if I don't run into that brick wall, which I didn't with this game, I was actually very surprised. I was like, oh my God, this works. This works, this works. Everything was working without a single hiccup whatsoever. And I was thinking, oh no, the game has to be made. The game wants to be made. Now you get to that point where it almost takes on a life of its own. It's practically making itself. And I have the whole game from beginning to end in my mind. And I just kept working on it and working on it and working on it, which is good and bad, because when I tell you what game it's going to be and when you actually see video footage of it, it's going to blow your mind. But what it does is it distracts me from finishing the original one. So what I did was I finished the engine for it. So I got all the game mechanics in and everything like that, and that's fine. Now I've got to put it aside, and it was a good break and distraction from Rygar. Now I got to concentrate on working on Rygar until it's done, because I'm so excited and I only want to work on this new project because it's so good. Anyway, that's all for now. I got to get back to work on it. Email me. You can find everything, the links down below on my website. And of course, if you like my videos, if you like the games, support me by getting the games. And stay tuned for episodes. I mean, you can subscribe to me if that matters anymore. Hit the notification bell if that matters anymore as well. I don't know. But the point is keep up to date with me, because I will be coming out with this video of this new project very soon, and you will not gonna want to miss it, believe me. So that's it, guys, and I'll see you next video.